Hey everybody, it's Pat in the Cardboard Dungeon. Fantasy Flight just dropped a preview article for X-Wing Wave 14, and I want to talk about it, hopefully briefly. I might run a little long in this video. I apologize in advance. What we are getting out of this so far that we know of, wouldn't surprise me at all if they add ships from the Solo movie that they can't talk about yet, but we'll see. We are getting a large box Rebel and Imperial expansion. For the Rebels, we get Saw's Renegades, so we're going back to Rogue One for both of these expansions. This is a repainted U-Wing and X-Wing in the colors of Saw Gerrera's Partisans. Now, interestingly, look at the X-Wing in this picture. Its S foils are closed. It's interesting because later on in this preview, we will see the S foils open. This means one of two things. Most likely because of the U-Wing's movable wings and the TIE Striker's movable wings, they have finally given us an X-Wing with wings that can open and close. So that would be great. Very cool. The second and less likely option is that they made a mistake and they inadvertently told us that we're going to get a standalone X-Wing expansion in this paint job with the S-foils open, with different pilots and upgrades and stuff. That seems very unlikely because we already have so many X-Wing expansions, ways to get X-Wing in the game. So I'm going with option one. This ship is going to have opening and closing S-foils, which is super awesome. There is a third, highly unlikely option, and that is just that the art department messed up, and it's just going to be one or the other with no articulation on the wings. But I am choosing to be optimistic and saying that we are going to get an X-Wing that you can open and close the wings. Now, the second expansion here is the TIE Reaper. This is the troop transport we saw in Rogue One, designed similar to the TIE Striker, but much bigger. In fact, looking at this, now it's a small base ship, as we're going to see. But if the scale on this picture is correct, look at how much bigger that thing is in every dimension than the U-Wing, which is on a large base. So once again, Fantasy Flight playing around with the scale of the ships compared to the base size. So that's pretty interesting to me. And this is, of course, another shuttle-style ship for the Imperials. So what do they have, like 5 of those now? It's a lot. All right, coming down to the next picture we have, and by the way, all these pictures are from the preview article that went up on Fantasy Flight today. So go to their website, read the article for yourself if you want to see all this that I'm talking about, or bring up the article and look at it as I'm talking about it here. So here we can see nice shots of all 3 ships. You can see the appears to be a black and white paint job. The article says red and white for the Rebel ships, but I think black and white is correct, unless that's just a super dark red and they got the contrast all messed up or something for the article. But I'm good with black and white. I think it looks cool. All right, down to the photo of the content spread for Saw's Renegades expansion. Now we can see, looking at the top row of the pilot cards, we can see that we have 2 unique U-Wing pilots, pilot skill of 6 and 5, and then 2 copies of a non-unique pilot. We can't see the point costs on any of them, or any other information. Below that, for the X-Wing, we are getting a pilot skill 7. At 26 points is the top pilot, and this one can take an elite. And we can see the ability. It says, after you perform a boost or barrel roll action, you may flip your equipped servo motor S-foils upgrade card. So pretty cool. Lots of ways to get boost and barrel roll on small ships, X-Wings in the game now, including the recently released Flight Assist Astromech, which we're going to get another copy of in this expansion. Seems good, right? We're going to talk about the upgrade, the S-foils upgrade momentarily. Then we see a pilot skill of 5, a pilot skill of 4, and then we have 3 copies of a non-unique pilot with a pilot skill of 1, which is interesting because it means that we might be getting a 20-point X-Wing, allowing squadrons with 5 rookie, less than rookie pilot, really, X-Wings. 5 X-Wings in a squadron. Seems likely to happen, unless this, for some reason, pilot skill 1 pilot has the ability to take an elite upgrade, and it's costed the same as a rookie pilot, but that seems doubtful. Now, have we seen a pilot skill 1 with an elite? Those seem mutually exclusive to me. Okay, anyways, going down to the upgrade cards, top row, left to right, another copy of Crackshot, always good. The next card, 2 copies of it, can't see what type of card it is. It might be the Corellian Slip. I'm thinking that's a maneuver made famous by, I believe, Wedge Antilles. Not sure what it's going to do, but probably an elite. It's probably an elite upgrade. So that's what we're looking at. No idea of the cost. No idea what it does. Next, we're thinking 3 copies of a title. It says T65 X-Wing only, which is interesting because officially, technically, no such thing as a T65 X-Wing in the game. The original X-Wing is just called X-Wing. So they don't want it to work with the T70. They're going to have to errata it or include it in the manual with this expansion, or in some way specify that those original X-Wings are T65s, which we already knew, of course, but it's got to be official. Otherwise, people are going to argue that you can't use the title on anything because there's no T65 X-Wing in the game. But they will fix that in an FAQ or something before this expansion comes out. I have no doubt. No idea what it's going to do. It looks like it might be Renegade refit or retrofit or something. Next, we can see a copy of that servo motor S-foils that pilot skill talks about. And in the bottom row, we can see 3 more copies. We can also see that it's a dual card because it has 2 different pieces of artwork, one with the S-foils open, one with them closed. Makes sense. We can see that the closed S-foils card does something with boost, probably lets you boost because the S-foils are closed, so it's going faster. And then we can see, interestingly, there's a lot of text on this, no idea. This is a modification, by the way, dual card modification. So for the wings open position, we can see that it has the K-turn maneuver icon on there. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a way to give the X-Wings a white K-turn, or let them do something when they K-turn to make them less vulnerable. Always their weakness because they want to joust. Usually, and when they K-turn, they don't get their action. So maybe it lets them keep their action, maybe it turns K-turns white, who knows. Very interesting. Next, we have the single card that was spoiled in this expansion, Targeting Scrambler. This is a system upgrade, it doesn't cost any points, it is unique, and it says at the start of the planning phase, you may receive a weapons disabled token to choose a ship at range 1 to 3 and assign it the scrambled condition. And what the scrambled condition does is, when attacking a ship at range 1 that is equipped with the Targeting Scrambler upgrade, you cannot modify your attack dice, and then it gets removed at the end of combat. So, not sure how much traction this is going to gain. It's not bad because it's free, so you can put it on a ship with a system upgrade if you don't want to spend points. But you have to do it before planning, so you have to anticipate that an enemy ship is going to have a range 1 shot against your ship, and also that you're not going to have a shot back because you have to weapons disable to use this. So you're weakening yourself, taking away a potential attack that your ship can make against any other ship, not even the one that you think might get in range 1. But it does take away the ability for the attacker against you to modify their dice in any way, which is good. It's survivability. Not bad for shuttles that are going to be running away, or once they've made their attack run and now they're just slumbering through the battlefield with no targets at all. You just start handing out this condition on ships you think are going to be chasing after you. Might save you from taking some hits. Okay, moving on. We have a unique crew. I don't know enough about Saw Gerrera and his rebels. I don't know who this is. Looks like it starts with MAG-VA maybe. Somebody can tell me in the comments. I'm sure this is a known character. It probably was in Rogue One in the background or something. Rebel only, of course. Can't make out any text on this one. Next, we have another copy of Flight Assist Astromech, first seen in Wave 13, Phantom 2 expansion. It's pretty cheap that there's only 1 copy of it here. That's a fantastic X-Wing upgrade. Everybody wanted 4 of them. I know people who bought 4 Phantom 2 expansions. I did not because I don't want 4 Sheathipede shuttles, and I just don't really want to spend the money just to get a single card out of the 3 extra expansions, but a lot of people did. And I think I made the prediction even that we would be seeing an expansion with an X-Wing and multiple copies of this to make that up, but Fantasy Flight is being cheap once again with only a single copy. Unless another upgrade here kind of makes that less good or obsolete or something, marginalizes Flight Assist, but I can't imagine. It's such a good astromech for so many different pilots. But, who knows? If there's another X-Wing expansion coming up, that they haven't announced yet that has 1 or 2 copies of it, I guess that would make up for it. So I'm not gonna ding Fantasy Flight too much yet, but I am disappointed that we didn't get at least a couple copies of it included here. And then finally we see Saw Gerrera, unique crew, rebel only, of course. 1 point. And his ability says, when attacking, you may suffer 1 damage to change all of your focus results to critical hit results. That's a really good ability, especially since you can mitigate that damage by putting them on a ship that has regen. So like an Ark, for example, with Astromech slot, you can put R2-D2 on there, and so you can get back the damage that he causes to your own ship. And it's almost like a better, cheaper expertise, right? Because that costs 4 points, changes all of your focuses to regular hits as long as you're not stressed. Saw can just do that, but turns them into crits and is only 1 point, and you just have to take a damage. So really good for 1 point especially. I can see Saw Gerrera showing up in a lot of different lists. All right, so that is Saw's Renegades expansion pack. Some really cool stuff there. Really interested in those X-Wing only, the title and the S-Foils card, to know more about that, which I'm sure they will reveal in a future article. Next up, TIE Reaper expansion pack. So we can see that it's a brand new ship to the game, of course. Attack value of 3, 1 agility, 6 hull, and 2 shields. Has 2 crew slots and nothing else except for the elite on probably only the 1 pilot, but maybe a couple of them. We can see the top pilot skill 6, 26 points, can take an elite. This ship has focus, evade, which is weird for such a big shuttle, atmospheric style troop transport ship, and also jam. And the top pilot looks like Major Vermeil. Says when attacking, if the defender does not have a focus or evade token, you may change one of your blank or focus results to a hit result. Nice ability, works nicely with jam. So moving down to the upgrades, top row left to right again. The first one we know nothing about. Don't even know what it is, except it looks like it's got to be a modification or a title because there's no icon. No idea. Next, multi-something camouflage, maybe. It's a unique card. Small ship only, that's all we know. Next up, I'm going to guess this is probably a tactical officer. Imperial only, of course. Non-unique crew, no idea. These are all going to be crew, by the way. Crew or either modification or titles, because crew is the only upgrade icon this ship has. Unless there's an elite, I guess, because we can see the top pilot can take that. So that multi-camouflage, whatever it is, it might be an elite upgrade. All right, next we can see ISB something, most likely a crew, maybe not, maybe an elite. No idea. We're going to skip over that condition for the time being because it's going to be the last thing we talk about. So bottom row on the left, we have advanced ailerons, I'm guessing, similar to the adaptive ailerons for the TIE Striker. This one's TIE Reaper, of course. It's going to be title or modification. One of those two. Probably a title. You can see treat your, maneuver immediately, reveal your, stressed, and then a white, and it looks like a turn. So, might be the same thing as adaptive ailerons, but instead of boosting, it's going to let you use a turn template, which could be pretty cool. We can see that the ship has a red speed 2 turn from the dial pictured here. So that might be interesting. Then we see 2 copies of Systems Officer. This one we've seen before. Imperial Veterans brought it into the game. It's the one where when you make a green maneuver, you can give a target lock to a friendly ship. All right, next, Unique Death Troopers. Takes up 2 crew slots. They did spoil this one, and what it does is, it's Imperial only, of course, 2 points. After another friendly ship at range 1 becomes the defender, if you are inside the attacker's firing arc at range 1 to 3, the attacker receives a stress token. So more stress control with Death Troopers in the game. Pretty cheap, but takes both of the crew slots. So we've seen a few cards in the game now that require 2 crew slots. Getting more and more common, it seems like. Okay, and finally, Director Krennic, unique, Imperial only, costing 5 points. He's a crew. It says, during setup, before the place forces step, assign the optimized prototype condition to a friendly Galactic Empire ship. So no First Order. with 3 or fewer shields. So there's a lot of options for this ship. I'm thinking that it's going to be a no-brainer on a TIE Defender, because here's what that condition says. First, it says increase your shield value by 1. And then below that, we can see once per round, when performing a primary weapon attack, you may spend 1 die result to remove 1 shield from the defender. And there might be more text below that, so there might be some sort of a drawback, because both of those things are super great. But Krennic does cost 5 points, so hopefully there's not any drawback, or if there is, it's not much of one. Really, really, really amazing. So another high-cost crew for the Imperials to go with Palpatine and Hux that gives a really good tactical advantage to the Imperials. Very cool. I like this. There's going to be a lot of options for this condition on your ship. All right, so there's what we know of Wave 14 so far. Some very exciting stuff in there. Can't wait to learn more about those X-Wing upgrades. Not really sure there's going to be justification for owning another U-Wing, but maybe. I don't see anything for the U-Wing specifically that seems super, super great in what they showed us. But that TIE Reaper looks very cool. And the X-Wing, of course, definitely very cool. So, all right, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.